Today we're going to be talking about GMOs, which are genetically modified organisms. These modified organisms range from altered rice to make it more nutritious by adding vitamin A, it goes all the way to genetically engineering cows to produce more milk. They've actually even created pigs and cats that glow in the dark. These organisms are created by copying the genes for beneficial traits of one organism and adding it to another. We believe on the affirmative side that this kind of genetic manipulation is dangerous, which leads to our policy statement that the U.S. should outlaw the production of genetically modified organisms. It is dangerous in the effect that the gene transfer is not entirely predictable and can lead to harmful foods. The testing of these products is inadequate, and once these organisms are sent to production, there is no way to control the cross-pollination with natural organisms that live in the area, and this results in genetically altered offspring. Dr. Sharad Patak of the University of Georgia says, when you insert a gene, you are changing the whole metabolic process. Each change is going to have an effect on other pathways. Will any gene kick off a whole slew of changes? We don't know for sure. This is shown by a strain of corn that was altered to become more resistant to pests that ended up producing a toxin that killed the larvae of monarch butterflies. Also, this unintended harmful result is evident in the Showa Denko Corporation, where bacteria were engineered to express certain enzymes at higher levels than normal and to express other enzymes not normally present in the original bacteria. Because the company had been producing tryptophan for many years using fermentation methods, when the production switched to genetic engineering, no safety testing was necessary. Was deemed necessary. The new tryptophan was placed on the market, and within a few months, it caused 37 deaths, and 1,500 people were permanently disabled. The genetically engineered tryptophan was not tested for safety because it was determined to be substantially equivalent to the natural production version. An organism is considered substantially equivalent when, through metabolic or protein profiling, biochemicals of a new food fall within the range of natural variation already exhibited by biochemical profiles in the existing food or crops. But even though these organisms is decided to be substantially equivalent, it is not necessarily safe, such as the tryptophan produced by Showa Denko, which was decided to be substantially equivalent. Also, there are no legally binding rules to establish how a product is determined to be substantially equivalent. In the case study's safety assessment of genetically engineered fruits and vegetables, they tested the genetically engineered tomato called Flavor Saver. The tomatoes were determined to be substantially equivalent, despite the fact that they caused some stomach sections from the rats that they tested showed moderate erosive lesions in 7 out of 20 female rats, which were considered of no importance, but in humans it can lead to life-threatening hemorrhages. Also, 7 out of 40 rats who were eating the genetically modified tomatoes died within 2 weeks for unstated reasons. Cross-pollination is also a large problem in that for genetically modified organisms, if a GMO crop is raised near natural crops of the same type, they will cross-pollinate to produce a genetically modified offspring. This is shown in Mexico, where these genetically modified genes were discovered in crops of corn some distance away from the genetically modified crops being raised. And also in Canada, scientists warned of the rapid spread of pollen from the genetically modified canola seed to an extent that made it nearly impossible to grow non-contaminated forms of the canola seed because of so much cross-contamination or cross-pollination. In conclusion, further research needs to be done on genetic modification before it can be allowed to be produced. Scientists cannot alter and push into production genetically modified organisms that they don't completely understand just because there are fortunes to be made. The United States should outlaw the production of genetically modified organisms.